You are now listening to the Low Hanging Fruits podcast. Listener discretion is advised.
Chop, chop, chop.
All right, yeah. Hello, everyone. Hello again. Welcome to the second episode of the Low Hanging Fruits podcast. I'm your host, Lauren.
I'm Constance.
And I am Yuri, or Kelsey, or Autistic Cato. I don't know. Whatever
This is
suits
this
your
is
fancy.
this is my small sister. Please treat her with respect.
Yes, I'm your small sister, but I am taller. It's
That's the older sibling curse is that the younger
yeah.
siblings will outgrow you.
I'm
This
not
is
sure.
this is a dialectic that Marx failed to consider.
Yeah,
Take that, Marx.
Marx failed to consider these nuts.
My God. And I guess I'm supposed to be like, I'm not gonna say uncle because then people are gonna think I'm like the pervy uncle. No, I don't know. I guess I'm
No,
just.
that's true. Actually, that's accurate.
Wait.
We have to.
I mean, okay.
That's another official position of the Low Hanging Fruits podcast. Uncle Constance.
I mean, I was basically an uncle like 4 times over before I was like aged like 18, I think.
Uncle Constance, who is not allowed within 50 yards of an elementary school.
What the fuck?
I'm just reading the facts off as I have them in front of me. I'm just reading the documents.
Okay,
I got the documents right here, folks.
what if I'm an aunt?
Listen, these people are aliens.
What if I'm an aunt? Do I get an exception now? Do I?
Constance
I
has
can't
had
do
to
Alex
memorize the
Jones. I
six
don't
track
have it in me
shuffle.
to do the Alex Jones impression.
Okay, look, whatever. I'm the not so distant family, but I'm staying,
All right, yeah, let's talk about giving respect to the streets.
Oh my God.
And all
This is
that.
this is the Street Respecters podcast now.
Oh my God.
Respect to all my my black folks out there. That's folks with an X.
Respect to all my sisters.
Oh God, don't. Pain.
Sorry.
I had someone say that in my DMs once. It's like I was getting harassed at some point, and someone like we had a conversation, and at the end of the conversation they ended off with "respect to you, sister," like with an A.
Really?
Oh my God.
Wait, what?
Just completely well-meaning, but Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna call you that now.
Sister Kelsey.
My sister Kelsey. Yo.
My sister.
It's the tea is lit. I spilled it.
Oh my fucking God.
The sister from another mother.
The tea snapped, sis.
Oh my God. So yes, we have to respect.
My heart aches.
Well, actually, wait. Do we respect? We can respect the streets, but not the pogs.
More pog disc. No, we can't just be horny every podcast.
Yeah, no horny. Horny is confirmed bad, allegedly. or something
Constance,
like
go to
that.
horny jail.
I've been there. What do you call the Hades? Yeah, I fell from the sky and fell into Hades already. I've been in horny jail.
Hey, these nuts are dragging over your face. Why don't you talk about that?
Hey, these nuts.
What I've noticed is trans women really like talking about their nuts.
Yeah, my
I
nuts are
do-
fucking
I-
fire, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, it's always girl dig this, girl dig that, but no one talks about the girl balls. It's like, don't sleep on the girl balls, but don't sleep on the girl balls. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, y'all sleeping on them girl balls though. Let me tell you guys something, okay? The balls are an essential part of the bulge. Everybody talks about the dick,
yes,
but the
yes.
balls
That
give the
seems
bulge
obvious.
definition from an
Yeah.
artistic perspective. Okay.
Shit wouldn't look right
I mean-
if like the balls weren't there. It'd be like
Yeah, you look at these like old marble statues, right? They all have massive balls and tiny cocks, and they look fucking phenomenal.
That's true.
It is true. I love that one like marble statue of the trans woman. I fucking love that. They're just like cock and balls hanging out. I live for that.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, we've gone against our no horny rule.
it
Fucking damn it, already,
doesn't
dude.
matter. It doesn't
Already.
matter. Yeah, who cares? Like,
Fuck law.
Speaking of
This
that,
is the Anarchitty podcast now.
oh my God.
Anarchy. I'm a lifestyle anarchist.
I'm an Anarchitty.
As in, I anarchist
Okay.
your mom last night.
Really? Did you make her some tea? Actually, she doesn't drink tea. Did you make her
Yeah,
some
also,
soup?
you have a new sibling on the way.
Oh God.
As an addendum to that. I
Jeez.
want to
Most of my
be. I
siblings
want
hate
to be
me.
one of those white women now. That's like going to be my new thing, where I just like talk about like fucking black guys all the time.
Oh my
Oh
god.
God.
Look, it's better than fucking
I'm gonna get
fascists.
tattoos on like I'm gonna get tattoos on like my thighs and like those leggings that like come up over your belly button.
Get the fucking spade.
Nothing but
Get the
yoga
spade.
pants from now on.
Oh God.
Fuck
Yoga
yoga.
pants and sports bras. I'm gonna be a gym rat.
Gym rat. I mean, oh, there's like.
I'm gonna say the N word.
No. Oh God.
How fast can I get this podcast canceled?
Look, I'll just mention I've never said the N word. I will never say the N word, at least on this podcast and probably everywhere else.
I also have never said the N word on this podcast.
I've never said an N word. Wait, what the fuck am I talking about? I can say the N word.
Oh.
Why am I
Nintendo.
conforming to your
I
fucking
said it.
white people?
There, I said
Oh
it.
God. I can't believe you said that.
I'm sick.
This is an Xbox
I hope
household.
my daughter doesn't bring home a Nintendo.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my fucking God.
This is an Xbox household.
We're
Yo, if my
already.
daughter brings home a Wii U, I'm a fucking killer.
See, this is what happens. You put
If she brings
three.
home a Switch, I might consider though.
Yo, that's fire. That's good.
See, what happens when you put three women and they're already like itching at the bit of just saying the N word and wanting to play Switch. All right. Well, wait.
The only Switch I got is this fucking little, God, what do they call them? Like the little cattle things, riding crops. There it is. That was the
Oh,
word.
really? I don't have one of those. I mean, I have like the ball gag, the magic wand. I have the strap on, which is it got kind of chewed on by uh a cat. At the very least, the tip.
Oh, a cat
See,
was
what
it?
did you do?
Oh no! I literally just brought it to show it to her because she might have wanted to use it on me. But then her cat, who is like a really cute thing, but has a propensity with chewing on sandals of the very same consistency as the fucking strap. Because the strap thing is like, it has a suction cup, so you can use it independently from the strap. All right. But this consistency of the material is the same as a fucking sandal, so of course the cat just chewed on it, chewed on the tip. It's
I
still,
think
yeah.
I want to get a strap that's like it's got like a cup attached to it, so that I can just have a strap over my dick and have two dicks. Put a dick inside my dick.
Oh, that's
Reverse sounding.
that's So you would need like I think those exist, where it just you have like a double strap on. But thing is, I don't know. I think there might be one where you just but the first strap you have a socket to put your dick in. But
Excellent.
yeah, that's useful. So let's see, you just do double penetration with it. It sounds like that sounds
So do you think a cis woman who doesn't like girl dick would be into like fucking a trans woman if she had one of those straps? Does that resolve that issue?
I wouldn't. I really wouldn't know because I actually. I
What
mean,
are you not a cis woman? Can you not tell me? Can you
what?
not
Yeah,
elucidate?
Constance.
No, I mean, I would.
I thought you said you weren't the only trans. Oh my God! So you really are a trans woman? That's crazy.
No, I'm just fucking.
That's so brave of you coming out
No,
on episode 2.
no, I'm just a fucking cis guy.
It's called episode 2 because it's Constance says me too. I'm also a trans woman.
Oh my God.
I just no. Look, it's gonna take a lot more than that. Look, what I'll really need is like a cosplayer girlfriend who just really needs to have like another lady to just, for cosplays and just like feeds me estrogen. And it's just this whole like weird manipulation stuff. That'd be pretty good. That might turn me
Constance
into.
be like, "Oh, I'm not a trans woman. I'm just AGP." As if that's not like half of us, anyways.
and and
Exactly.
I'm
What's
I
autogynephilia? But if
I
you're still that way for women, but it's just for dicks instead. Because
I'm
gyno means like pussy.
I'm a cis with AGP characteristics. Look, I have a
Oh my
dump truck.
god.
I have dump truck ass. Looks really great in stockings. That's all I can say.
I'm
Fucking
sorry, the
pog.
autogynephilia sounds like a fucking like
You're
transformer.
AGP. You're a gay fat with a PH.
No, that's our other podcast member Doe.
That's
Oh
both of
yeah.
you. We know
Well, I
that.
mean, we're not limited to one fat per cast. Okay. I mean, we can. It's a. It's we actually don't allow for diversity of opinion on this podcast. We very much are a one party line pod.
Like it's just gonna be really great when me and Doe start just calling each other a bunch of fucking fat. It's gonna be
I
really
think
great.
that'll be
That's
phenomenal.
no, we can say it. We're allowed to say it.
Yeah, fat.
That's yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
not me though.
We have to put several slurs into every episode.
All right,
I can shout the N-word if you want. We can get that
no,
one like
no, no,
tied in.
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
no, I'm gonna say a few words sometimes instead of the N-word that start with N, and then I'm gonna bleep it so people think that I said it. But
Nice.
then when they accuse me of racism, I can say no, I didn't really say it. It was just it was an elaborate ruse to make you think that I'm more racist than I am, which in and of itself is probably indicative of something. But I'm not gonna tell you what.
What's that one stand-up piece of the white guy getting his black friend to say the N-word in his stand-up for him? What's that one? What's his name? I should do that for you. Just like you go on a rant, and every time you're about to say the N-word, I just shout it really loudly for you.
Nice.
If I say my and then I pause, feel free to just insert the N-word.
Oh my god. This.
Oh my god, you know Jesus Walks by Kanye West. You know
Yeah,
the
have you
really
heard the weird version of the instrumental where it just shouts the N-word for
yeah
no reason? I
yeah. We
listened
should
to
have
that and
like
I was like, that's not in the original.
it is. Every
Is
time
it?
you're gonna say the N-word, you should pause, and that should be edited in. That specific clip. That'd be
That would
fucking
be perfect
hilarious.
too, because it's got a weird echo to it.
Exactly.
Hang on, you
That'd be
guys talk
perfect.
about the Mel respect to the streets thing. I'm gonna head to the bath. I'm gonna do a and go to the bathroom real quick. I'll
Oh
be
my
right back.
god. So yeah, the
Let us know what Mel tweets you find in the bathroom.
so the melt tweet. I actually couldn't believe when I saw that tweet. I really couldn't believe it was like, well, you know this. How to say this? I mean, like
She's a
people.
fucking suburbanite.
Yeah.
It's like
It's.
it all makes sense now.
Oh, it. I
It
mean,
all.
it does. But like when people just say like, "Oh, college kids, these fucking socialist college kids," like it feels like that the whole shtick would work a lot better if they just switched out like college kid for like suburbanite,
Exactly.
and
And instead of like socialist, we just say like China Stan or whatnot. Fucking, you know.
or DPRK. Like it's so like
Yeah.
it's so I don't. Thing is, look, I come from like a family where just okay, like my dad was like 9/11 truther and all that. It's just like really weird like shit where like he's 9/11 truther, but he likes Chomsky at the same time, and it's just like a whole no like a whole bunch of like a Bill Maher watcher, and it's just a whole bunch of like this stuff, right? And even then, I'd like the how ridiculous it would get in his head. Even then, n- there's no way it would ever go into like the kind of like complete fucking lunacy required to be like a dongist or a
Mm.
DPRK stan. And it's, I mean, my best guess at how like people come to that kind of like ideology is it. I mean, it's a bit too reductive to say like it's just rebellious because there are plenty of ways to be rebellious. But uh, it's this hope almost that there's something better out there, and that yeah, kind of like yeah, it's this hope that yeah, there's something better out there, and so you have to like commit to something that feels almost like it's too good to be true, almost. But then you
Mm.
have like a whole like support network of people who are like, no, it's actually true. Don't let the Western media just brainwash you into thinking or questioning it. And so, in a way, what I'm trying to say is, in an attempt to like escape capitalist realism, or just like the just hellscape that they live around, like suburbanites just
Hmm.
like they become like a weird inversion of them like neoliberals, neoconservatives,
Yeah,
which
yeah, absolutely.
that's why also they just will just deploy really weird foreign policy
Hmm.
perspectives, which just resemble like what we would call like neoconservatives, but for another country.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be kind of my take on that.
Neoconservatives, more like kneel down so you can conserve my cum.
I don't think you want conservatives kneeling, especially while I'm around. I like my neck, thank you.
No, it's winter,
Uh,
so
Oh shit!
my girlfriend's for those that not in the know, my girlfriend is conservative.
You should fuck your girlfriend into oblivion whilst like hypnotizing her into
I'm gonna fuck her into
the whims of
communism.
communism.
She,
Yeah.
if
Fuck
the
her
D
into
is good
communism.
enough, then maybe she'll acquiesce.
Exactly.
what is it with like white women wanting to fuck like conservatives and fascists, man?
I did not know she was a conservative. I don't
She's
have a
not that kind
conservative
of conservative.
fetish. Yeah,
Huh?
she's. I mean, I don't even know what her right wing opinions are, and it's not performative either. All these like white women who really want to like fuck conservatives, so few of them like do it. Like I respect because she did it.
I think she's conservative. Like Winter is conservative more in the. She calls herself a Republican. I don't think she does. She call herself a conservative. I know she calls herself a Republican. I think she's a Republican in the like old style sense of like literally just a republic, not like a partisan thing,
Hmm.
as in like the
I
Republican
thought she
Party.
was. We talked about it once, and I don't know if she. I think part of it's she just hasn't really retained a lot of like conservative beliefs.
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I know just especially. I wouldn't say especially in America, but like definitely in America, you just those labels like Democrat, Republican just don't really mean as much as people think. And when you talk to people, it's just like a mishmash. It's like a bunch of fucking shit that
They're the
like
Well,
same
nobody
thing.
has a consistent ideology here. It's all
of course.
bullshit.
Uh, I mean, it is kind of like that, like kind of everywhere. But in America, it's very. Maybe it's because you're so conditioned, like outside looking in or inside like looking out, depending. That like America is like cleanly divided between two camps. But when you
It's a
see,
sports team.
yeah, but that's definitely not the case. And like, which and just people just have so many like weird niche ideas about how like their country really is, or how they can just keep two separate ideas that seem to really conflict with each other. How they just can glue it together and make it work.
Oh, you mean like
Cogn-
cognitive dissonance?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny. Well, I don't know if you guys remember the Mel Vosh debate that I posted about, because I actually listened to that garbage and
Yeah.
I want
it
yeah
was a trip and a half.
I watch bits of it, but it's fucking unbearable. That kind of shit is just unbearable.
I
Whoever
watched
wins
the
Well, I
or
whole
mean,
thing. It was
loses.
painful.
he basically just grilled her the whole time, which is kind of what she deserved.
Mm.
Like, I was I was I was listening to be like empathetic to her because I thought like, okay, she's kind of stupid.
Oh, I know for a
But
fact. Oh wait, is it? Oh fuck, I don't know Mel's pronouns. Is it they? Faye?
she,
Fuck.
she,
She?
Faye,
Faye,
I don't know. I
I,
don't.
yeah.
I think it's Shife.
She Faye. Yeah. So
She,
she.
Faye.
I know that on the stream she said that she basically doesn't fucking understand any marks, and it actually doesn't matter. Like straight up, it's just.
Well, I
Uh,
guess they
Wait,
have that in common.
Yeah, but also strangely enough, she also said that like Settlers is actually not that much of a good book because all it does is like morally condemn and doesn't tell you anything. So it's
Yeah,
actually
well,
kind of
Settlers is just a book about how white people have evil brains. It's
yeah,
literally from the first page outward. It's already on that horseshit.
yeah. But yeah, there's that. So yeah, and Mel like before that is kind of known for genocide bad pleading
ooh,
eyes. Yeah, ooh. and just like repeating, like refusing to engage. But when you scratch, you just do find out that
Yeah.
it's just like
Well, it
yes,
would
it is just like China defenses the
be kind
ideology.
of defensive mechanism that a lot of women do, where they want it to seem like you're being aggressive and they're not being sinister.
Hmm.
Another reason I was saying to my mom earlier, we should get rid of, not in
What?
a genocide way, just in a, what if every woman transitioned to being a man and it was all cis men and trans men? What about that?
Hmm. That could
That would be
be.
a way to live.
Yeah. I hmm. I see the appeal in that. I think. I would know.
I don't know, maybe that's just part of my. I can't believe somebody's probably going to say that I fetishized trans men in the previous. I remember getting in a fucking Tumblr argument once with
Oh
people
no.
who said that it's actually transphobic to be like a
Attracted by trans men or just like finding them
man.
hot?
If you're a straight woman, no. I remember the what got it started because they originally said it's actually it's transphobic if you're a straight woman and you like a trans woman because it's like saying she's not really a woman.
Oh my
And
god.
that's, first of all, if you can get a cis woman to love a trans woman, that's like an achievement. You've unlocked like a special good ending to the game.
Hmm.
That's, I don't, the few couples that make it work like that are really, they're doing it for their marriage, for their kids, for their spouse who they love as a person. So I
Hmm.
got in an argument with these fucking Tumblr tweens just being
Twins.
insane. Well, I'm pretty sure they were younger than I was.
I was never part of that.
Mm.
I was never into Tumblr ever. I mean,
It's a website for douchebags. It's a website for people who just love being assholes and believing everything that they see on their timeline.
oh, you mean
I was
Twitter?
only there for the porn.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Twitter got worse when Tumblr banned porn and sex stuff.
True.
Yeah. Which is still
Because
wild that did that.
all the artists left, and not that like culture creates politics, because that was always the Richard Spencer line where he said, or was it Richard Spencer or Milo Yiannopoulos? One of them made a comment where he said, politics is downstream from culture,
I
which is
think
a very
that oh no
fascist. It's a
that
very fascist thing to believe.
I know who that is. That was Breitbart, Andrew Breitbart. No, that wasn't Richard Spencer. I think that was
He might have been the first one to say it. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's
Andrew.
been repeated. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Andrew Breitbart. I think he's the first one who said it. Yeah, I'm fairly sure.
but not to be that person necessarily, but there is a degree to which politics is not politics is downstream from culture, but like political culture, the way that we process politics as culture, because it's all super culture war bullshit. That is definitely downstream from like wherever the culture is, if you get my drift.
Hmm.
So like wherever the media is in terms of its what website it's on to like what its politics are, very much seems to generate the controversies, seems to like lead the political discourse, all that fucking bullshit. We're all just reacting to media at the end of the day. We're all basically YouTubers.
Oh well,
We live in a YouTube reality.
oh yeah, kind of. It's the well. Here's the thing that I've noticed. Actually, I have a good thing to talk about. Like, it's this thing that well, I took this term from someone else, but it's ideological death spirals, right? Which I feel is what fucking happens. This is how you define like these little like these mini discourses, but also the way that you have like I don't know, think about like woke and anti-woke, or just where you have like two poles, but when you think about it, they're not that much different from each other, right? Because not only are they like constantly reacting to one another, but they can't ever like move beyond like they're like they rely on the other to have any identity for like in themselves, right? So it feels
And
like
not only that, sorry, go ahead, do your thing. Do
oh
your
no,
thing. Do
yeah.
your thing, brother.
My God. But yeah, which is like it's understandable that you kind of need something else to be in opposition to just define yourself. But it feels like in these like discourse like spirals, these death spirals, is these ideological death spirals. There's like there's no positive content there. It's always reacting to what the other person is gonna do, or like what. Like, it's just
Well, one of
sometimes.
the reasons that all of that anti-fascism stuff is so like just
Mm.
bankrupt of coherency is because it's so much easier to know what you're against than what you're for. And
Yes,
it's all
Exactly.
about being
exactly.
against something, which is also why it's dominated by liberals.
Mm.
Because it's easy to be against something, a liberal against fascists,
Or
theoretically.
against
But
Republicans,
it's
against
hard
Trump.
to, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, again, like what you're talking about is also a symbol of political cycles, like what we talked about in the previous episode. Kind of
Or sometimes
a
sometimes not even it's
stupid.
not sometimes not even about like political cycles. Sometimes it's just like cultural stuff. It's just like, and I'm not like one of those people who say like, oh, it's fucking culture stuff, like it's fucking bullshit. We just never talk about it, and just like it's it's just like false consciousness or whatever. I'm not one of those people who say that, but it seems like just a stark like showcase of like the impotence or the political impotence, just abstracted from like another layer from what it usually is. So we're not even talking about politics right now. Like it just becomes like these cultural like signifiers, and we just like go about it. And so like yeah.
Well, that was the thing that I was going to say earlier, actually, which is that, like, not only are we processing politics as culture, we're
Mhm.
processing culture as politics,
Mhm.
and only as politics. Nobody can ever. I saw a thing where somebody was like, somebody brought up that, like, that it was ridiculous to say that Hermione Granger from Harry Potter is like autistic coded or whatever. That would be like a silly thing to believe. And then somebody was like, "Oh, the wokies or whatever." That's a stupid fucking word. Come up with a different word for hyper woke people because it makes that one makes you sound like an idiot. But that like the wokelets or whatever were saying that they like were gonna cancel Harry Potter or whatever, and then like somebody else was like, well, no, but Harry Potter does fucking suck though. And like they were like, oh, hello, wokey. I didn't see that you found. And that's like what I tried to say to them was I was like, no, it's not. It's got nothing to do with being woke and everything to do with your fucking books are terrible. Sometimes stuff is just bad. Sometimes shit just fucking sucks.
Everything is understood within the paradigm of extremely online just it's not even like debates, it's just I like it's just a way of thinking about how people exist, but it's built upon like how like these social media platforms like just condition us to view people and what they say, and not oh god, wait, I'm dozing off. What's I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but like you see where like you have like you just
Constance's brain just fucking flatlined there.
no, it's just look, yeah, uh, but just like we just like people are already like all we're seeing is just like avatars and abstractions, and just the way we process like all these abstract people is through this like culture war lens now. And so so it's way easier to just process just how people behave if you have a simple like dichotomy, like, oh, is this person woke? Is this person anti-woke? Like, and it's just that. It's just that. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's to sort of make it real for people. It's like all of those BuzzFeed articles about why something is problematic. That's the exact type of shit that I'm talking about. Not that it isn't interesting to talk about the politics of something, but it's very reductive and silly to strictly view things through like it's politics.
It's not militant at all.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
what really bothers
and
me.
it doesn't lead to creating good art either. Like if Harry Potter was woke, it wouldn't suddenly become good.
Yeah. And
Mm.
look, the secret is um, reactionaries tend to
Also,
do very good art actually. Which, well,
no, you're wrong. That's a
no,
stupid thing to
no,
say.
no, no, no,
That's
not, not,
that
no,
Yeah.
no,
that's
no, no,
that's
no, 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 but like, no,
asinine.
no,
They
I know,
do not.
no, no, no,
Look, Chimp.
filmmakers, I think, would say, no, I wouldn't say like just, but like, there's a lot of people who just, well, it depends on how we define reactionary, but it's like, but yeah.
Okay, Some examples, please. I'm not saying it can't happen. I do think they
Oh my
can,
god.
because I don't think it
Oh god,
necessarily
I would have
is
to
about
fucking
that,
pull up.
about your
Jeez.
politics. But
But
like,
the
is
In
Martin
fairness,
Scorsese a reactionary?
no, it's I don't know. But just like like all these like oh god, because I'm not good with movies. God, I don't remember the names. But just
Okay, well,
but just
what?
like it's the same reason that like people like what's his name, the Japanese author that was like basically a fucking fascist, but he actually has like good books, I guess, good prose. Yukio Mishima, I think.
I'm not familiar.
But just
Luna would know if Luna was here.
but just to say like this idea that like you can be like literally just like conservative or reactionary and you can't like write something good on a literary or let's like film like have like good cinematography or like good ideas at least at that level, like it's just like false, I feel.
Yeah,
it's
no,
it's
of course,
it's it's
yeah.
it's, it's very easy to just think that someone who has like fucking shit politics like cannot ever do like anything that might have some artistic flair to it at some point.
Well, I mean, I think people really desperately want to think in their heart of hearts that good artists are good people.
Which
mm,
And it's just not fucking true.
never.
It's just not true. You don't even have to be smart to make good art. Like, I think Stephen King has made some pretty okay stuff. Because he's not, I would call him an extremely intelligent guy, and I don't think he pretends to be one either. He just made some interesting books sometimes.
But
The Stand is not particularly one of them, but I liked some of the Dark Tower books. The first three were okay, and then the last one's alright.
so
I
yeah,
don't know if fans of the Dark Tower books will know. The
I have
fourth
not.
one could have been like three chapters of a different book. It's like 1,000 pages that just did not need to be a thing.
Jeez, over
It's a
padding.
whole it's a flashback.
It's
It's a long
it's a
flashback.
flashback. A whole
The
book
man
is
wrote a 1,000 page flashback.
whoa.
I At some point, I think if you're an author and you get famous enough, it's like
You could just write
your
whatever
editor
you
just
want.
stops editing. You just put anything in.
And they're like,
authors
okay.
say the
They
darndest
read the
things.
pitch for it. They read your elevator pitch and they're like, yeah, sounds good, whatever, print it.
So what's to say? Yeah,
But
we're
yes,
we're talking. Uh, I have the woke, anti-woke stuff, and just like these oppositions where we just
Yeah,
very
a lot of
easy.
these people have the mindset of like, I must find political means to justify my dislike of a given piece of art, and it's so fucking stupid.
Or just to
Like,
well, I
be
think at some point I actually saw somebody write something on Tumblr once where it was like, you're like your art is good if you're a good person, and it's like you people are
ugh,
the death of art, the death of
yeah,
culture.
yeah.
I feel like Theodore Adorno more and more every time I fucking see these fucking people.
and it's also
Rancid.
hmm?
I said rancid. Rancid nonsense.
And it's just oh right, that was another thing I wanted to say. So like those just like people who just say oh X is problematic, like X behavior, or just that type of like BuzzFeed like articles.
Yes.
What's really the one of the contradictory things about that is that they want to be like activists, like but at the same time, what they're doing is really like kind of like it doesn't even get to that level,
Well, I mean, I think that's why the term slacktivist was invented.
basically.
Mm.
Because
I mean, that's who they are.
like not only to like I don't it's so like personalized. There's no like the whole point of that kind of like just these concerns a lot of times is just either it's like disempowering. It's just like okay, you're just kind of stuck. You're gonna have to like overanalyze everything that's happening on like the internet or just around your friend group or whatever, and just like play cop, or you just become like okay, we gotta vote for the lesser evil, and it's never about because
I don't even think they really take it that far. I think that they're just like these little hall monitors who are all about just like
yeah, but
every time you see something problematic, you have to call the teacher. You got to raise your hand. You got to tell everybody that something's wrong. somebody cheated on the test.
Hmm.
It's just fuck off.
And basically, the two political parties in the United States are just choosing your hall monitor, depending on which issues, I guess.
Mm.
But in the end, they're still hall monitors. They're fucking assholes. It's
I
just
don't think it matters out of the political parties at all. This whole like culture as politics thing.
no, yeah, but I mean, like in the end, it kind of it's like very cynical if it does get filtered that way, right? It's more of a PR thing. It's kind of like the
Oh
CIA.
my fucking god!
It's like the CIA stuff where it's sort of like
I just had a dark vision of the future.
what?
Oh, hit
Holy
us, hit
shit! I
us.
just realized at some point we're gonna have like a WOC congresswoman who like posts like your fave is problematic like
Oh,
Twitter posts to get like votes and support to win her primary.
Oh no.
That's a that's a that's a
why would you leave
that's
us
awful.
forsaken with that cursed thought?
No.
Ow!
Hey,
Ow!
listen, I had some sharp shit in my eye torture me for like 8 hours today. Had to sit in a hospital and like that was more
Yeah,
painful. Thank you for that.
you were at the doctor before this. How's that?
Terrifying, actually. I don't want to sidetrack us too much, but for a good period there was a good chance that I could have gone blind in my right eye.
Well, now hang on. Trans women
Whoa.
don't get periods. We
Oh, for
all
fuck's
know
sake.
only real bio women get periods. Call back to
Did you say
episode
only?
1.
Hashtag
Did you
bio
say
women.
only real trans women, or did I mishear?
I said only real bio women. That was
Oh,
we did the Rose McGowan tweet already.
oh
Uh,
shit, I see.
yeah.
In a previous episode that we definitely did not record directly before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Anyone who thinks that did happen is a conspiracy theorist.
Do you remember that time we did that? Good, because it didn't happen.
Yep.
That one was made by a writer.
Yeah, we made it up. It's fiction.
It's fiction.
It's a good world that we live in, you know?
No, it is
Ah.
not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, look, you just gotta think about all the beauty in the world. I mean, even in the context of suffering, it's a funny world. It's a cool place.
Oh, it's a very funny. Yeah, yeah. I learned that lesson. It can be very funny. Yeah.
Joker fight Constance. This is the
Yeah.
Joker podcast. The low hanging jokers.
Low-hanging jokers. Oh no.
Like the Joker, like Joker movie is basically a documentary about me. When you think about it,
I am the Joker, baby.
except I haven't learned to do makeup yet. But if I did, I would definitely use a paintbrush and just fucking kick my face and stuff.
I should do Joker makeup. That'll be my thing
I think
now. I'm the Joker.
that'd be funny.
I'm the Joker, but I'm woke. I'm the woker.
The
Oh my
Woker.
god. Oh.
Yeah. I feel like the woker would be like just a doomer. All right. Do we have anything we wanted to say more about the epidemic of suburban kid posters,
Oh.
privileged
I think
first world kid posters who claim to represent the global South, as it were?
yeah, I think if suburbanite like fucking socialists, as I call them because I'm a cringe lord. I think if they
Oh
really
yes,
wanna,
excellent.
yeah, if they really wanna support like women of color, they should give me all their fucking money and their house and a plane ticket. Just give me everything.
I'm a woman
That's
of
all I have to
color.
say. Oh yeah, you're Irish, aren't you?
Yeah, no, well, I was just gonna say I'm not gonna say which color, but I am definitely I have a color. But yeah, no, I'm black, Irish. Yeah,
To know
I'm
more about
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
to know more
the
about
the
this, you
the,
should.
the BIPOC or BIPOC or whatever stands for Black Irish Person of Color.
To know
That's
more
what it
about
is.
this, Google how the Irish became white.
Yeah, there was a whole fucking legal process and shit. Well, we should do a history episode. I don't know who's the historian of our group, but somebody's
I'm a
gonna have
great
to.
historian.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm the best historian you're ever gonna get. just an amazing historian. My credentials are that I'm a cat, and if you say anything bad about me, I'll hiss at you. I'm a keep it 100. I'll be your
Um,
historian.
I'm kind of a woman of color too, because ginger, I guess.
Well, ginger is an
excellent.
anagram
Yeah.
of black, so
Wait, what?
that's a clever one.
Wait, wait, what? Wait. Let me. Oh,
Yes, Constance, that is exactly what I mean.
Oh fuck!
oh
You just
my
figured it out,
God!
Lauren?
Just took me a
I,
second.
I,
Oh, that's awful.
That is
Oh,
awful,
that's so bad.
but I can say it, so fuck it.
Yeah, I know.
I am
My
literally a ginger.
my ginger.
Oh my
My ginger,
God!
my
This is
ginger.
this is a horrible. Why would you impart this knowledge on me?
Well, you've just become a lot more powerful now. You know.
Wait.
Circling back around to Mel's settler's position. Not to fixate on her too much, but I
Mm.
pulled up this article here that I'd like to read. It's posted on the charnelhouse.org, and it's called "Don't Bother Reading Settlers" by Jay Sakai. And there's an interesting refutation that's quoted here in brief. And this is a reference to Doug Anna Green, I think is how you say their name. It's a text called "Race and Class in the United States: Jay Sakai and the Politics of Revolution." He says Sakai denies the existence of a multinational proletariat since white workers are supposedly just suppressors. What Sakai advances is just utter falsehood. And I've read enough Settlers. I haven't read the whole thing because I don't want to murder my brain cells, but I have read enough Settlers to know that that's an accurate review. And here's Green says this as well. Marxists need a materialist history and analysis of US society, its existing class relations, the role of race and national oppression, and to identify those agents of revolutionary change. But Sakai's Settlers does not provide that understanding. The work is marred by gross methodological and factual errors, and the political conclusion leads I just lost my the political conclusion leads to see white workers in the US as one hopelessly, quote, reactionary mass. For Sakai, there is no strategy for unity. Rather, division of the working class is seen as a permanent feature. And this is sort of the interesting thing that I find. And I'd like to then quote Kevin Rashid Johnson of the New African Black Panther Party in his commentary on Settlers, because what I think is interesting is that third worldism as a movement has actually changed a lot in our lifetime. It specifically, even Kelsey's lifetime, youngster Kelsey, small Kelsey, who is but a wee lass. It's still this. There's been a lot of internal shifts in that ideology, from like kind of like an old school Maoist position to this like new Sakai brained like anti-colonialist, anti-imperialist mindset. So I'm gonna read. This is kind of long, but I wanna read Johnson's response. And again, this is coming from I believe he's a Maoist, but he's a member of the New African Black Panther Party. Central to the creation of the Maoist international movement, or vulgar labor aristocracy line, was Jay Sakai's Settlers, an anti-Marxist analysis of race, which replaces race for class as the principal form of oppression in America. Settlers cites episodes from the extensive history of white racial oppression of people of color. And he goes on to say, people of color in America and the relative privileged status that whites at all socioeconomic levels have enjoyed at the expense of peoples of color, which has allowed even working class and poor whites to betray the interests of their counterparts of color. The main theme of Settlers is white racial treachery, betrayal, brutality, and privilege that claims to know no class distinction. The conclusion being that these factors combine to create a uniform class of whiteness that has no proletarian sector. We contrast Sakai's narrow work with the broader and exhaustive works of Marxist proletarian intellectual Theodore Allen, particularly his 2-volume study, The Invention of the White Race. Applying a political economic analysis, he demonstrates that race and racism were/are created and manipulated by the working class, or excuse me,
Oh
created and
my.
manipulated by the ruling class as a tool to divide the working class against itself, only to the benefit of the ruling class. Sakai's work is geared more to the incitement of visceral reactions to the horrors of the practice of white supremacy, and driving home the subjective theme of inherent treacherousness of whites. This to the end of inciting people of color to look upon all whites as a collective oppressor class and to erase the class lines that exist between and separate ruling class and working class whites. Sakai's non-materialist study readily appeals to the affective mind. Allen's work, by contrast, materially examines the methods and the history behind the ruling class's schemes that created race and racism, and incited workers and other strata against each other in the name of racial supremacy and counter-racial narratives, which have perpetuated ongoing racial alienation, competition, subordination, and so on. This has served to suppress and divert the collective outrage of the overall oppressed masses into channels that have protected and advanced the wealth, power, and interests of the ruling class. Allen also examines how the concept of whiteness has been used to serve and serves to blind whites to the sufferings imposed by whiteness on racialized others, and he further demonstrates that ultimately whites do not benefit from racism or the sense of racial privilege and entitlement. Allen's work is geared more to the materialist mind that is interested in understanding the origins, roots, and purpose of race and racism, and how to counter its divisive and often catastrophic impact on oppressed peoples of all colors, and especially the proletariat. Now, there's a lot more to say about Sakai and settlers and intra-third worldist disagreements, but I'd like to sort of leave off with on that quote a bit of a commentary, because I'm not saying that I agree with third worldists, but that is a very interesting point of contention, I think.
Yeah.
Are we separated more so along class lines or race lines? And the answer is it's kind of not an either or thing to me,
Hmm.
because I see racial oppression as in the present state of things, in terms of its origin in our nation, as being generated largely to serve class oppression. And I don't think that, as far as history goes, that's controversial.
No, well, it's actually funny. I heard someone who just once said that the problem with like class reductionists is that they're not class reductionist enough, because if they were, they would actually, it becomes like when your main focus is actually really about class, not just like, cultural, like, little fights, you'll definitely see, oh wait, it just pops, like, you can't ignore the racial aspect of class if that's really like you're gonna focus on it. It becomes very you would have to be extremely like motivated to not see it if really you were just, class first completely.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're a class reductionist, then in a way, you're also class reductionist is just a word for racism. It's a word for when a leftist is racist and doesn't care about racial
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah,
If you think about it in terms of a literal definition, it's not so much that I personally am a class reductionist; it's
mm,
that capitalism is class reductionist.
yeah.
Racism services class and capitalism, and that's just a material observation.
And it's about like, it's about just acknowledging that, but then just not being naive enough to just think that that's all there is to it. And you have to walk at the fine line between just, knowing that class is a very like probably like central role to play, but also that's not the end story. And there's definitely
Um,
just,
and I'd like to sort of pivot just a little bit, because there's a notion that I saw propagated, and it was I don't remember this person's gender, but a black person on Twitter saying that they really didn't want to be a settler, and they hoped that there was a way that a Black American could be considered not a settler. And
Which is
somebody replied, and they were like, no, 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 don't worry. If you were taken here as a slave, you're not a settler. Which sort of brings me to this interesting thing where it's not to say that slavery and its legacy does not still affect Black Americans to this day, which it does, but you were not taken here. You were born here as equally as anybody else who was born here. And as far as who you are in the present day, you're a citizen of America. And you can just as easily, as we've seen, become the president if you are a descendant of slaves. Not that Obama was, but I mean, in theory, that is a thing that is open to being possible, a
yeah,
thing
so
that people probably wouldn't have previously conceived as possible.
there's
It can
abstract cultural
happen.
liberties that are granted to supposedly every citizen.
And there's another review of Settlers from, I believe his name is pronounced Noel Ignatieff.
That's the person
And
who
I
wrote the "How the Irish Became White" book, by the way. That's what was referencing.
really,
Yes, Noel Ignatieff
I
is
don't.
very well known.
I'm not saying I endorse all of the views of or everything that all of these people are saying necessarily, but there's a lot of good stuff here, and I
No,
just want to
Ignatieff
zero
is
in
good.
on a couple sentences from this review where he says, as an aside, why limit the category of settler to those from Europe? People from Africa were imported to the Western Hemisphere to produce surplus value, which was subsequently transformed into capital. Were they settlers too? And what about Mexicans and Indians already there and Chinese imported later? They also produce wealth to use to dominate others. And this is just a fantastic thing that I think that there's a lot of fucking problems wrong with Settlers as a text, but it's just a marvelous trick to try to get a person who belongs to like this identity of a racial minority to believe in whatever it is that you're selling them by giving them a kind of absolution of being a part of a colonial project, of servicing a colonial project. Um, if you work for Facebook and you're Black, Facebook is a huge contributor to colonialism globally. A lot of people don't talk about,
Literal
but
genocides.
you're
Literal genocides have been organized on
well,
Facebook.
the election of fucking Bolsonaro in Brazil was largely driven by media that they control. I mean,
Mm.
just that alone, like this, I mean, not to say that it says anything about your moral quality, but you're part of a project of imperialism, colonialism, genocide, fascism, et cetera, et cetera. You're servicing it. You're providing for it. You're producing as part of it. So and it's not to say that you should just quit your job and starve to death. But you are not absolved. Your hands are still red with the blood. So I think that it really draws a funny comparison ideologically to me to that Black Hammer project
Oh my
where they
god,
give
yeah.
classes to white people so that you can like be absolved of your settler status. It's the exact same thing. That's the natural conclusion of this shit.
It's yeah, there's that, but like it's the weird tension that it's hard to resolve between, individual responsibility, like quote unquote, like just, people as individuals, and then the aggregate of those people who form the groups, right? And it's just as you said, is the settler category. It does the weird trick where it tries to be no, it's very like I think anybody who is like kind of like looked at settlers, it's just written in a way it's like very moralistic. But then
Oh yeah, no,
it
it's
tries to,
exclusively moralism.
yeah, and it's just what is going on? Like, well, it just doesn't want to like go into like the little like uncomfortable details where you just kind of notice that oh that like there might be some usefulness to the seller category, but not as a like moral thing. Because in fact the moral like aspect of it is kind of used to just obfuscate maybe some more structural issues where, the the people who were just like brought here on like slave boats or just even the well, like the role of like, surplus labor and just all that like how that just gets like co-opted and just you can almost just it becomes hard to like distinguish someone that's like quote unquote officially a settler and someone who wouldn't be under like that definition.
It's
But then the effect,
I
like
mean,
the person on the other side of the world who's just getting fucked over because of like like the whole like dynamic between the core and the periphery, and like
look, this is not a straw man. You might as well believe that white people have like Yakubian devil brains, or that we're descended from a common ancestor of a deceitful albino, or something like that.
that's dope
That's
though.
you might as well believe that,
That's
because that's
dope.
I mean that's kind of the it I, that is pretty cool. I guess that is a cooler version of what we're talking about.
Yeah, this shit's lame. It's just like, you know,
Yeah, that shit's for fucking losers.
it's,
And I'm glad we've got that settled. Another universal position held by everyone on the Low Hanging Fruits podcast. If they say they don't, they're denying it. Fuck settlers and fuck people who believe in that nonsense.
well, the funny thing is, even the people who like actually like think it's worth reading will like insert like several caveats where they're like, yeah, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. But I mean, in a way, like I can, like it can be, it's kind of like appealing in the sense that it just kind of well, there's this view of just like, very naive, just, that what matters is just kind of just basic class unity, and that actually racism is just like an idea is just gonna immediately fade or whatever. Just as like any like little like hiccups or problems, historic or just like in the present. Like I can understand why the settler stuff can be like appealing or just being like, wait, it's more complicated than that. But even on their own
Well,
terms,
I guess the one thing about it that I do kind of see is there is like a deficit of anti-imperialism among the common left. Not necessarily among communists, like dedicated communists, but for sure among like SOCDEMs and stuff like that.
oh
Because
yeah.
it's every other week a streamer tells you why we should still be in Afghanistan. Not to vague or anything, but it's or I mean people the same arguments people made about Iraq, the same arguments people are going to make about Iran when we inevitably try to fuck with them, unless they get a nuclear option first. Which I mean, God help them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, well,
It's a beautiful world.
yeah, very beautiful. What's it's kind of it's like really strange though about
How are we? I gotta check in. How are we doing on time?
huh? Oh, uh, this one's an hour and 2 minutes.
All right, yeah, we got
Yeah.
probably can fit a couple more minutes in. How's Kelsey doing?
Oh, she had to dip.
Yeah,
She had to literally
she's
dip.
good. Unfortunately,
Battery got
unfortunately,
her.
we're down at Kelsey.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's a two-man show, a two-trans show. We're both trans here.
No. Okay. I guess we can. I don't know. Really. What is it? Okay. Need to shoot the shit about this.
If Constance, if you pay me $500, I'll absolve you of your cisgenderedness.
Yes, sorry. Fairly sure that $500 would go maybe to, I don't know. I really want to do a Obi-Wan cosplay at some point. It's gonna fucking cost me. It's annoying.
Transgender Obi-Wan would be pretty hot, not gonna lie.
I mean, maybe. Mm.
All
No,
right, well,
seriously though, what
any
is?
more thoughts? Any closing thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I actually wonder what is it with people and their fucking pink pills. I really don't get it. I mean, okay, no,
Well,
maybe I get it.
you love it. You love it. You like the attention.
Of
I'm
course
just doing what you want.
I do because I'm an attention whore. But hey, if I had gotten like, we can swap up pink pill for anything else. But it seems to really work. Like it's sort of like across cis or trans lines. It's sort of like, yeah, nice. Just gonna pink pill someone. Sissy hypno, literally, just it's sort of low key sissy hypno, but medically induced.
We'll
Uh,
have to do a hypno episode because that's Luna's territory.
oh no.
Um, but yeah, I'd like to thank the listener for listening to this episode.
I don't
Uh,
know. I don't know why they do. We're horrible. Never listen again.
That's
No, no, no.
the more. I mean, we've had only max like 3 people per lineup so far, but we'll be getting more high energy, more competitive broadcasting.
Yes. And
Until then, until our return.
hmm
I've been Lauren,
I've been Constance, and we've had the
and
Euro.
thank you for supporting us. And don't worry, one day I will absolve you all of your settler genetics, your evil skin,
Never. I will always
and
remove you,
we will all be brothers under the skin. Until that
sisters.
day,
I will be
goodbye,
I
everyone.
will be a Yakubian sister. All right.
Now there's
And
a black pill.